What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 for another video review. This time it's 300 Rise of an Empire, Artemisia from Star Ace, and you can purchase this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link on the description. So I didn't know nothing about the company Star Ace at first. I was looking for a good Leonidas figure. So if you watch my review, if you're familiar, I ran into the Figma. Tried it out, it's not really good, so I decided, type more. I saw a 1/6 scale from Star Ace and got my attention, so I decided to take a look at Artemisia. And as you can see here, the box is phenomenal. Actually all the boxes from their line, I got Queen Gorgo and Themistocles again as well. Their boxes are top notch. It's the inside right there, there's a nice image of Eva Green. She's really badass on this movie as well. It comes with nice accessories, this figure, but the box, like I said earlier, I was pleasantly surprised. Look at the side here, favorite movie master series on the side there. As far as accessories, she comes with a decent amount. So the first hand is the arrow hand. This hand right here is a bit interesting actually. This is the accessory holding hand. It works quite well, honestly. So it's closed finger, as you can see here, unlike some of the 1/6 scale, which you kind of they're flexible. So once you take them out, but this one is fixed. So how you put on the sword, you kind of there's some technique. So you take them out and on the handle and kind of slide it in. This one is the arrow holding hand. You can see she got some nice nails right there. She went to a salon to get that done there. And another interesting bit here is I actually do like the fact that there's one hand that does have the arrow hand. Just you'll see it just in the event when my camera decides to focus. It's attached to the arrow, so that's a pretty interesting concept. And I said nice because I had the other figure and he can't hold the arrow as well because if the hand is separated, it kind of slides down. It's not a good fit. So I would say in this instance right here, this is a good move by Star Ace to just attach the hand to the bow, and you just kind of attach this to the body itself. Moving forward, so she has an arrow, just one. Again, on the movie, she did use one, but it's not like she's Legolas or something that she has a bunch of them. She has one, and that's enough, honestly. So you can see here nice details on the arrow. It's looks metallic, but it's not. It's plastic, and the tip of the arrow is on the other side, of course. If you can see it right there, yeah. So. Again, this is plastic. It's not sharp. The edge is not sharp, so you don't have to worry about it. The sword is a little bit sharper. So you can see here next, we're going to take a look at the sword. She comes with two swords. And, if you've seen the movie, if you haven't, I would suggest you do so. It's been 4 years. It's not as good as the original movie, in my opinion. It's not as iconic, but it's still a pretty good flick nonetheless. And Eva Green is... like I said, a pretty badass character in here. I hope the next character that they make, Star Ace, is Cersei's. I can just imagine he'll be a tall dude. I guess in the movie he's like over 10 feet tall. So, he should be around, 14, maybe 15 inches. And as you can see the sword here, it is not die cast. But I'm glad because if it is, it's going to put stress on the joints. But it has really nice details on the paint work, and it's phenomenal. So you take this piece off, as you can see here. So once you take this off, that's where you slide. That's when it's gonna fit on those hands that I showed earlier, because the fingers are grasped together. So Yeah, nice paint application. It's gold, but you can see some wear and tear on the what should I say, shield, but on the sword itself. So it looks like it's been used. Artemisia is a great soldier, so I'm pretty sure this sword has been into a lot of battles. We'll put them down here. She has a couple, and you can actually store the swords on her sides. She doesn't have there's like a dedicated place for it, but it's kind of made up on her belt. She also comes with a dagger, which is a nice design as well. This one you can what I did was I just sort of inserted into her belt. She does have a belt that it's not really made for that, but you can just use your imagination and just play around with it. I do apologize, my camera is not really cooperating with me at the moment. Here you go. It's giving me trouble focusing in this macro distances, but you can see here, nice details on the dagger. You can really appreciate this up close, because there's just fine details on this markings, and it looks like that handle right there is just a piece of work and just such a tiny accessory. The paint application is terrific. It's not like one of those new daggers. You can kind of tell that this dagger has been through some battles. Nice paintwork right there. You can kind of see my hand instead of the sword, but you get the idea. All those many details makes 1/6 really stand out from the rest of the action figure. And as far as the stand, she kind of has this standard oval size stand. It says 300 Rise of an Empire. The difference that I notice is the stand is glossy and shiny all throughout, compared to Queen Gorgo, which is the base where she stands on, is matte. Hers is kind of like a car based, everything shiny, like an eggshell sort of thing. Now, as far as the figure itself, the costume design is interesting. I do love it, honestly. There's a lot of things going on here. Some spikes, and it looks like it's ready for battle, really. The side, you can see the side shoulders, the shoulder pads right there they're movable, so you don't have to worry when you move the shoulders and whatnot. It's kind of reminds you of the shoulder pads from Batman, which they can move around once you move the shoulders. Nice detail work on like the shoulder pads and the outfit. Now, she does have some exposed joints on her elbows, but I would say I'm okay with it. Queen Gorgo has this type of body where it's seamless, but the problem with those seamless bodies is that once you make any bends, it kind of cringes you, because they're gonna leave a mark and all that. Well, with Artemisia, you want to put her in some dynamic poses where she's fighting Themistocles or something, or just being badass whatsoever. So you need those joints. So the fear of leaving a mark. So I really applaud the job that Star Ace did there. I know it's kind of, you're gonna sacrifice aesthetics with functionality. So I'm glad they choose function. It depends on the character, really. With Queen Gorgo, you can get away with no joints, because at least on the movie 300, she didn't really do much fighting. She's more of a queen at that time. But going back to Artemisia, look at her back. She has this nice spike, and it goes all the way up. It starts from her kind of like spine area all the way up to her back, maybe to protect herself from enemies from behind, so she won't be backstabbed or something. But yeah, the costume design is, I do love it. And even the character itself, she is a fearless warrior. You see that the one on the side right there, that's where you're gonna insert her sword. She has this gauntlet, and overall I say the costume design is pretty cool. It's kind of a good reminiscent of the movie. As far as head sculpt, I've heard this is the actual picture of Eva Green, as you can see there, and this is the Star Ace version of that. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not spot on, but with a proper lighting, not lightning, with the proper lighting and you know, some work, because it's 300 the movie. It's they have a specific color tone. The Rise of the Empire has this greenish bluish tint on it, as you know. The 300, that's you know, that's how Zack Snyder made his name. You know, it's his he has a signature look, and you know, it's mostly dark, and you would notice that in the DC movies as well. So you know, it's hard because what they did was you know, it's kind of like a soft sculpt. So if the only thing I would, I guess, change if I had the chance is that there's maybe the eyes, because Eva Green's eyes, she's mean, you know. So but from afar, as you can see here, you know, it's pretty good actually. So you know, it depends on the angle that you're gonna get. Like I said, it's not perfect, it's not nearly perfect at all, but you know, it will do. This is the I guess the closest, or the best version on the 1/6 scale for 300. I mean, if you're the fan of the film, don't let that deter you. I am, you know, as a matter of fact, I wish they would do more, you know, as far as this line is concerned. More villain, you know, more characters. I don't know if it's gonna sell well, honestly, you know, because this is the only guys that are known. But I hope they branch out to. I love this kind of movies, you know, this Gladiator type. I hope they tackle Maximus from Gladiator, or Troy. You know, I know there's some companies who but they're not licensed, unlike Star Ace, because they do have the license to this franchises, and I do hope they run at it. And you know, this figure, as you can see here, it's kind of fun to pose around. You know, there's so many. The character itself is pretty interesting. She's badass, so you can put her in different poses. She's not one of those female characters that are just you know, eye candy and whatnot, even though Eva Green is a beautiful lady. But yeah, you can play around with some poses, and it's up to you, you know, like especially when you're taking pictures, you can kind of mimic, you know, like on this video, as you can see, I made a specific color treatment. I'm trying to get as close as possible. Well, I don't want to. I could if I wanted to, I guess, but you know, kind of give you I don't want to play around with the colors too much, but I want to give the darker tone as well, because that is what the character represents. And you know, this armor plate in her chest kind of hinders your movement going down and up from torso, but you know, you can work around with it if you want to. You know, there's still torso movement here, and this is her kind of. I just played around with it, you know, just doing some arrow pose. This is one pose that you can't do if you have a seamless elbow or arms, because if you do so, I mean, you're probably gonna rip the rubber out of it. So like I said, I'm really glad that they did what they did there. I'm okay with joints, with visible joints. I mean, if you really want to, I mean, you can Photoshop anything if you're just taking a picture. But if you're displaying this on the shelf or something, you would be glad that she does have this. Otherwise, you won't. Maybe you'll be able to retain this pose, but not for too long. I wouldn't suggest that on Queen Gorgo, who does have a seamless arm and elbow. So, but yeah, there's variations of poses, and especially if you have more characters, complementary characters, because it could go, you know, it could tell a story when you're displaying them into your shelf if they have, you know, another character sitting right next to them. Because sometimes, you know, people, it gives you, like with this guy right here, it's just giving you a size comparison. So if I display them together, obviously not going to be standing up and down. You can have them fighting, you know, but in this event, I'm just showing you the height difference. Obviously there is some I don't know the name of the actor, but he's obviously taller than Eva Green, even on the movie. So yep, there you go, guys. And that's the comparison, and thank you for watching. Hopefully this video helps you out in your decision. There's more from Star Ace. You know, I love this line, and just watch out for Queen Gorgo and General Themistocles. And thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next review.